All right, guys, welcome back to the Son of a Boys podcast with your co-host Jacob Price, with your other co-host,
Devan Franklin.
and today we are talking about the Karate Kid Legacy movie, the new one that just came out with both Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. Obviously, the original Karate Kid with Han from the Jaden Smith. Now, I don't know. It was kind of supposed to be a remake, but I guess just a reboot in the same universe, kind of. So yeah, uh, it comes with like newcomer. What's the kid's name?
Ben Wong or Lee
Ben.
Fong.
No,
Lee
I was
Fong
talking about the actor's name.
It's Ben Wong.
Yeah, Ben Wong. Um, as you know, I'm pretty sure because they had fan casting calls for like the kid, so obviously that's pretty cool because it was like his dream. He loved the original movies. So as a fan myself, like that would have been super cool. But I mean, yeah, we're just here to talk about the movie like we do every week. So you just want to get right into it?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into this.
So yeah, I mean, let's just get right into it. Obviously, this is a new addition to the Karate Kid universe, and I just want to talk about the good. And I mean, I don't know how well this kid has acted before, or if he has any other previous projects, like I said. But I don't think he did a terrible job. So it does look like he's been in a couple things. But the acting wasn't terrible. Obviously, I want to say it was the greatest. Um, Definitely a cheesy movie, kind of directed towards a younger audience, but that's obviously known now because obviously still containing like the old fans and trying to make some new ones. And we've also seen that with like Lilo and Stitch and the changes they made. Obviously, they just are trying to create more fans while keeping the old fans. But yeah, I mean, what are your favorite parts about this movie?
The end.
The end. Well, that's only like my favorite because I will say one thing like I was a fan of like it all leading towards the karate competition.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like this movie, it just didn't feel like it was leading there. I feel like it was leading somewhere else, and then it was just like, but we got to put the competition into it. So they kind of just like had to switch around the script and then put the competition in. So then it was kind of just like last second, like last 25 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
if that. Sorry.
I was just making a joke at the very end of the movie. Credits.
Oh no. Okay. I agree.
That's what I was.
I mean, you can say it because it's like we spoil everything we talk about.
So towards the end of the movie, kind of a little bit of context in the movie is that it's kind of around this dude's Victor, his pizza shop, where Lee Fong, who is Ben Wong's character, he comes in from Beijing, goes to the pizza shop, asks for stuffed crust. So then he becomes infamous for asking for stuffed crust pizza. This, that, and the other. They build this pizza shop up, and reopen. I think it seemed like it was another location, and then sends the pizza back out to LaRusso for helping him out, and then that's where you see him open the box, whatever, and to heat it up, and then it pans over, and then he's like, "Hey, look at this," and there was Johnny Lawrence, and I thought it was super funny. He plays very good. It was perfect. Johnny Lawrence he's like, "That's our new business idea," and he was like, "We could do Miyagi Do. You get it?"
It's a pretty funny scene. Probably one of the funniest scenes of the movie, and I love seeing Johnny there because obviously I'm a Karate Kid fan, but I also am a Cobra Kai fan, and I love that Johnny storyline. So yeah, seeing him was just fun. And I think they could do another movie with Johnny, and I feel like that would just be fun.
Yeah.
And I would probably like that more than I like this movie. That's just like a hint towards my rating, but yeah, it's not a bad movie. But I'll explain a little bit more later, because obviously I know Devan has more good to talk about it.
Yeah, I personally think, as a movie fan, I mean, from a fan point of view and not just like critiquing it as an actual movie, I liked it a lot more than I've liked some of the movies that we've watched. But a big thing was honestly just, I don't know. I kind of like the aspect of the training Victor into regaining his fights back, because he used to be a boxer, and then he had his kid, or Victor, who's a pizza shop owner, had his kid, and then he stopped boxing, opens a pizza shop up. Now he took a loan from a loan shark. Now he's got debt to pay. Yep. And then Li Feng fights off 3 of the guys, loan sharks, like henchmen or whatever you really want to call them, after they jumped Victor. And then Victor is like, I got a fight lined up. I want you to train me. I kind of like that. The only problem was when you're watching the movie, it's cool. It was a cool kind of like thing. I did think they kind of leaned into it a little bit more. I thought I was gonna like somehow also be Lee's training as well, mixing into it. Like obviously you see Lee train a little bit, but it's mainly Victor getting back up to this better physique and like physical condition than he was before. And then it definitely did seem a lot longer. I'm shocked this movie was an hour and a half. It felt like we were in there a lot longer, and I looked at my phone when we got out, and it was only 10. We got there at 8 AMC, so it was a lot of credits.
Yeah.
Or ads.
See, yeah, and that's something like I kind of disagree with Devan on, because I know he likes it, but I feel like it just kind of takes away from the Karate Kid aspect, because I mean it kind of leads to nowhere. I guess like you could say it's a reason why they like got into the tournament, but there could have definitely been like a better way you could have introduced that. Just because like he gets his ass kicked in the fight anyways, and we spend a lot of time on that those training scenes with like the pizza owner, and then like Lee's training is only like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's like not even that long. Daniel LaRusso shows up for like 5 minutes, and then it's time for the competition. You don't really get that sensei feeling, or that like in one scene you do, but like I'm saying like how Miyagi slowly built up the training and everything like that. While they were trying to make it seem like 10 days like was not enough to do that, but Daniel also kind of had that like time frame around there. And he became pretty good at karate, obviously being Johnny and everything, and Chosen and
it was really
Silver. If you watch the other movies as well, if you're a fan like that, and does it again in Cobra Kai. Nice. A little bit. You kind of do see how age is kind of kicking Ralph Macchio's butt a little bit. Because Jackie Chan looked like he was even moving way better than Ralph Macchio was. Like, you could see when he was, like, doing some kicks, like, you could just see that he was an old man now. Yeah. That's not I'm not docking the movie for that. I just think it's kind of funny.
Ralph still doesn't, look exactly how old he is either. Mm-hmm. Ralph, I think, is, like, 1961. That's like...
So he's like 60-something.
64?
Yeah.
Or going to be 64 this year, so he's 63. Probably like 60, 61, 62.
He looks like he's in his 50s.
And he looks great, but you can also see the... Yeah, he's not obviously the Karate Kid anymore.
Yeah, just the age. You know, age catches up to everybody. Like I said, I'm not docking it. It's just like something funny I noticed while watching the movie.
He's only 7 years younger than Jackie Chan.
Yeah. And Jackie Chan has been doing crazy, like, kung fu shit his whole life. Though, yeah. So, unlike Ralph Macchio. But, yeah, I feel like it kind of took away from the movie. And I feel like they didn't add enough depth to, like, the brother and his passing to connect it like that. Because, like, obviously that's your brother. And then you met this dude, like, a week ago and you're comparing it. Like, I don't know. I didn't really like how they compared that either.
You know, I think actually dissecting this movie is actually kind of affecting my rating a little bit because I'm putting it all together in like real time instead of just like zoning out every details while watching the movie. Mm-hmm. But like the same with the brother, was supposed to be this big thing, and the whole reason that Li Feng isn't supposed to fight, and we get like maybe like five, like realistically like probably like a 2-minute scene of Li Feng's brother getting jumped, and then like training him one move, teaching him one move, and that's it. And I was like, you would think there'd be like a little bit more backstory of it. It's just literally he won a tournament, gets jumped, and then he froze up. And then he obviously blames himself for that because he thinks he could have stopped it. He probably could have, but or at least made it a little more even. But
and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of there was really no arc either because he literally did the same thing when the dad got knocked out.
I thought that's
he
where
also froze.
I just thought he was gonna break it a little bit at least, but then he just froze again.
And then ghosted the girl, bro.
Yeah, and then she's just over here in the hospital with her dad, and he just randomly shows up. Well, he was trying to text her, but
he would have never showed up if Han didn't show up, or Jackie Chan's character.
So
or Shifu is his actual name, or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I think Shifu is like just another word for like sensei.
Is it? I don't know.
I might be wrong.
Don't ask me. We're about to learn something here.
Oh.
No, it isn't. Okay.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Maybe
yeah.
It says healing. So yeah, okay.
But yeah, those scenes were, I don't know, it could have just been built on a little bit more. Maybe like an hour and 45-minute movie, not an hour and 30. Just a little longer. Then maybe I would have cared about more of the characters. And you could have had a reason for Ralph Macchio to show up. Because, I mean, like, he has no connection to this kid, so he kind of has no reason to show up, but he just decides to anyways. Obviously, probably because Mr. Han kind of has a connection with Miyagi, so that might
kind of poke that little itch in him.
Because, and of course, in this movie, bro, Daniel has to talk about Mr. Miyagi, bro, like he always does.
I miss him too.
I swear. Man cannot get over him. But, yeah, I mean, do you have anything else good to say?
The pizza looked good.
The pizza?
The pizza looked good, but no, I think there was a lot of different openings for him to have been having a reason to even join the Borough 5. One, like he could have just been a rebellion of his mom.
And the Borough 5's the competition.
Sorry, yeah.
We haven't said
it's
it
like
yet,
their All Valley, or yeah.
Yeah.
And then so the Borough 5, like it could be just strictly retaliation against his mom because his mom moved him from Beijing to New York, and she doesn't want him to fight, so he'd do it just out of that. I mean, he's now I'm blanking on her name, and Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have her name, but the main actress,
like the love interest.
She was dating a dude who was Connor in the movie, who Li Feng fights in the championship. That one, like they get in a fight, so
Mia.
That's an easy.
I think that was her name, Mia.
Oh yeah, I think it was Mia.
Because I was trying to remember what he said in like the dinner scene with the mom.
Oh yeah, it was Mia. He was like, "What's his name?"
Mm-hmm.
Mia. But so yeah, Mia's ex-boyfriend is Connor, and then Connor and Lee get into it in the bus, and then even at school like a week or so later. Couldn't tell exactly what the time range would have been on that, but
I like him being the villain. He also only had like 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
While Johnny Lawrence and like the original like was built up to be like this Billy and like this just rich, selfish guy kind of with also a not great like childhood, and you can kind of understand where he's coming from to a point. Because he looks up to Sensei Kreese, and it's not like Kreese is the best guy to be looking up to, especially when he almost kills him after he loses that tournament. But yeah, this guy, I mean, you literally just see him. Like, there's a scene he's beating people up, and then there's one scene of his sensei yelling at him, and then it's just like fight.
Yeah.
So there was no build up to the bad guy either, really. I feel like they were just trying to like check marks, like, you gotta do this in a Karate Kid movie. You gotta do this in a Karate Kid movie.
I'm about to say, this is
while trying to do something else as well.
This is also, I had to check it real quick because like This is also 30 minutes shorter than the original Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
So they had wiggle room. I feel like they could have made it a lot longer of a movie and not try to cram it, where they could have gone in detail with the boxing outlet and then also given Li Feng a lot more training, or scenes at least. They gave him a week of training, and then, but it's like literally goes day 8, or goes day 10, day 9, day 8, 7, and then it just goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because they have like little graphics, and then just kind of like speeds up, and I was like, oh wow, okay, it's already like that, and then we're in the tournament, and the tournaments are like, each fight is like 30 seconds until we get to the championship.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like that in Karate Kid too, so obviously I'm kind of like used to it, but I don't know, it's just built more up. I mean, even in Cobra Kai, it was kind of like that when it got to the tournament.
Yeah, I just meant like, since if you're gonna spend probably around 30 to 40 minutes on this Victor storyline, and then like you had 30 more minutes. You could either cut into the Victor storyline and give us like a little bit more at least karate training, or the fights being a little bit more intense or something like that. I can understand the fights blowing by. It was just that I feel like we were focusing on the wrong things at times.
So I mean, yeah. Anything else you want to bring up real quick?
That's all I have.
So yeah, I mean, the end of this movie, I feel like it's not as emotional as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, like it wasn't really built up. As I said, Connor only had like 5 minutes of screen time before, and he was the ultimate bad guy. I guess it was kind of nice to see them like get the money and stuff and everything. But I mean, it was a simple movie. It's not terribly made, but I mean, it could have definitely been better. Like I said, it was definitely cheesy, and I didn't know how. Like, I didn't expect it to be that cheesy as it was. But I mean, of course, when it's about like a kid teaching a middle-aged dude some kung fu to fight off some loan sharks, I guess obviously that's kind of a cheesy plot point. So they kind of played into it a little bit, and I guess for like I said, younger people, that's definitely gonna play better. But definitely like the Karate Kid and the original definitely has like more of an adult tone, and it's played way more seriously about like the bullying and everything.
Yes.
Obviously, it still has those comedic scenes, but it's just more serious, and this is definitely targeted towards younger audiences.
Yeah, I definitely was really high on the movie out of the theater, and like I said, I kind of just had it all off and just kind of enjoying the fact that there was a Karate Kid movie, I guess, and then I was like, some of the things seem cool, but honestly, the fact that I'm like actually thinking about all the details and stuff like that, and like how stupid some of those things really were, and all that stuff, it definitely is like, okay, it wasn't as good as I had like a Karate Kid high coming out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really like I was telling Jacob I really like this one, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like now I could still watch it again, but like actually thinking about the movie and like the potential it really had, I was like, now it's like, okay, it was like set up to be really good, and I think I wanted it to be really good. So
yeah,
I was trying.
We all did.
I was trying to make myself believe it was really good, but actually coming in here and being like, you know what, they totally missed this. They totally missed this. It's not as good as I originally took it as, but yeah, I mean, and then his mom was pretty much absent this whole movie.
The whole movie as well.
I thought there was gonna be like a little bit more. Maybe she like kind of like, I mean, she came back, well, like kind of was by his side for the final karate match.
I mean, and to be fair though, Daniel's mom in the original movie wasn't around that much either. But like I said, we still had like that relationship that they built between Miyagi and Daniel, and that's just a better relationship that I kind of felt that like Lee had with Mr. Han, because Mr. Han said like he's like what you were to Mr. Miyagi. And it just didn't feel that way to me. And like Miyagi's and Daniel's relationship felt much more like bonded together and everything.
Because all we see is at the beginning of the movie, obviously we know that he's been training with Mr. Han. And I think it's like his uncle, or like Mr. Han is his like Lee's uncle, or is his mom's uncle. I think because that's what the subtitle said, or it was she called him uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so I was like, that's, you get like a little bit like they've been training together, but then there's like a whole like 40-minute absence with the whole Victor fighting scenes and stuff like that, of where there's no Mr. Han, and then he breaks in their house, they fight, and then it's like, there's not the actual Miyagi and LaRusso connection. I mean, even Johnny and Kreese had more of like a build up than this. I feel like with all and everything else, like there was little to no, like, these obviously they're literally the face of the poster. Like, I understand why Lee's the face of the poster and the billboards and stuff like that, but Mr. Han and LaRusso probably have 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's just the way they market movies nowadays.
But I get it. But it's like, I was like, there's just so much more potential to have had a way better build up for Lee, and then he's like, and he already had a background in karate,
Kung Fu,
but and then learns karate. But I don't know. There was a lot more potential than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Especially like the cool aspect of him infusing Kung Fu with Miyagi, though. That was a cool aspect, and that's why I was kind of disappointed that the training wasn't like as iconic as like the first couple Karate Kid movies, and even like the Miguel training in season 1.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, because that first season is basically like just a Karate Kid movie, very long and extended, but that's basically the arc. And obviously that show goes on for a long time. Kind of loses the Karate Kid feeling. Still a good show though. I mean, but yeah, I mean the movie could have just done way better. Definitely disappointing. I mean, I see people liking this movie. Like, obviously you don't hate it.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you came out of the movie theater, you were like, you enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, people have different types and like different tastes. I'm just kind of like an original Karate Kid fan, so I was a little more invested into it, and then obviously didn't have as strong as the story as the original. And I don't know how many times I have to bring that up, because obviously most of the time remakes are not better, or sequels, or whatever you want to call this movie. But it could have just been better. Added a little more depth to the characters. And that's just like the big thing about blockbusters usually that are just action first. Is they think the action's more like important than the story, when that's literally just not the case. Yeah. Or movies like putting humor in there too. Cracking jokes like every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, but also I'm a person that just kind of like, you can make me like laugh 2 times in a row, but when you're cracking like 4 jokes in a row, I'm like, all right, I'm just done laughing,
Yeah.
I'm ready for an actual like important story beat. But yeah, do you have anything else to say? I mean, then it was kind of like nice because they won the money, of course.
And then they better build the
Or they open
pizza
up the shop again.
And then I'm saying, like, this is giving me a whole different perspective on the movie, actually sitting down and actually kind of dissecting it bits by bits. Where if I didn't think about it, it'd be a really good movie to me. But thinking back on it, it honestly did kind of feel like the tournament was a side quest and Victor was the main storyline.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying.
And so I was like, but to me, it didn't seem like that in the movie. But I think I was just so excited for it to happen. But like, actually looking back at it, I was like, no, I do remember like feeling like this feels long as a whole movie, like from the Victor timeline. And I was like, how are they even? I was thinking in my head, I was like, how are they even gonna fit this into this movie if it's only an hour and a half? And I was like, then I found out it wasn't. It was barely even. It was only 40 minutes probably around. I mean, I don't know exactly the message. I don't time on my phone or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was like, it seemed like 30 to 40 minutes of this Victor storyline, and then the karate part seemed like it was like a side quest, and that's what they made it kind of feel at the end too. Is whenever they just are back at the pizza shop, it's like a heartwarming kind of ending and grouping all the characters back together, I guess. But I don't know. It definitely. Sitting down and thinking about this has lowered how I feel about this movie a lot.
So yeah, now saying that, you want to just jump on to the real score?
I am ready to give them my real score.
Alright.
Alrighty. So now we're gonna be getting into our real scores, which mine, it's still I think going to be, I believe, a big difference between our two scores. Probably still the biggest between our movies. I originally was supposed to be really different, and then, like I said,
I think Mickey 17 was going to be bigger than this one, actually. So
yeah, I guess I had a little bit higher than yours.
no, I had a lot higher than
Oh, okay, but
man cannot remember, bro.
but so now I'm gonna
Might be the same actually, because I gave Mickey 17 like an 89, and you gave it like a 78. But
yeah, we just have to fact check ourselves.
yeah, but whatever. Just say your score.
But mine, honestly, probably out of the theater was probably around like 78 or somewhere around there. It's like 74 to 78 range. That's what I was feeling. And then actually sitting down and thinking about it, I think I'm down to a 58.27%. That's honestly just, I'm sure if I just kept thinking about it, it'd probably eventually like lower it down a little bit. Maybe a second one would lower it for me, a second run. But I was pretty high. Like I said, I was pretty high on the movie coming out of the theater, and now sitting there thinking about it. So thinking about it more, I don't know how I would perceive it again watching it. But my first initial was pretty much no hopes, or not like no hopes, but like no expectations of like what exactly, other than like, obviously it's a Karate Kid movie. I knew there was gonna be karate, and he was most likely gonna win the tournament or whatever it would be. But connecting it all, the trailers give you a whole different feeling, like what this movie is going to be like.
And a lot of movies do that with the marketing nowadays, because I mean, you gotta sell tickets somehow.
Yeah. So definitely, I would still watch it, a Karate Kid fan. But I definitely thought I was gonna be a lot more higher than I am on it. But yeah, that's why I think mine's down to 58.
So yeah, then I got to put mine probably to like a 46.47, just because I see how people can get an enjoyment out of this. But now saying that, overall, it's not the greatest movie made. It's kind of just, it's a little fast paced, but also kind of has those slower moments where it can make you feel long, like Devan was saying, like that pizza training scene. Took up most of the movie, and it kind of slowed down a little bit after Lee kind of fought off the original goons or henchmen, what Devan called them. So yeah, I mean, like I said, these movies have been targeted towards like a younger audience, and so yeah, I mean, it's a good like movie to watch with your family, have fun with, and everything. Cause it's a fun movie. Like I said, it's cheesy, but I don't think every movie needs to have those moments nowadays or be overly humorous, like a lot of movies do. So yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, 46.47%. Not one of my favorites that we've reviewed on this series, or YouTube channel. I said series, but kind of is a series. But I mean, yeah. You have anything else to say? Last notes.
No, I mean, I think they should give Miyagi-Do a sequel. Miyagi-Do. We should see that in like frozen pizzas here soon.
We need to see a Johnny Lawrence movie.
Yeah, honestly, that would be amazing to see.
That's what I need to see. I don't care if it's a bad movie. I don't care if it's worse than this one. It's gonna be a 99% for me.
We need that. Johnny needs more justice.
No, for real.
He got a really good redemption in Cobra Kai, the series.
Now, usually I let you guys know what we're watching next week, but unfortunately I actually forget. So do you remember?
Ballerina.
Are we?
Or I forgot what that other movie was. It was I know Ballerina is one of the movies that's coming out. I think it's the only movie coming out.
I mean, we can watch The Phoenician Scheme, bro. That's the movie I said that had all those actors. Scarlett Johansson and Sarah.
I guess it really depends if our theater has it as well. Making sure, cause I haven't.
But it's AMC though, so. But yeah, one of those movies. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and give us your thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed it, you can come back next week and we'll be talking about another movie. So yeah, have a great time until then.